Hi, I'm Michael Quigley. I am the founder of Cataholos. I'm on a mission to try and help a billion people. And in this video, I want to help you in your leadership by explaining why calm leaders always win in uncertain times and how you can be one of those people. So let's explore this a little bit. Why is it best to be a calm leader? Well, to be honest, there are two aspects of leadership which you might not have thought about. It's nothing to do with strategy, it's nothing to do with money. Two aspects that are really important are the vibe you give off in everything you do, right? The emotional vibe that people get from you and from all your decisions and your ways. And second thing is your ability to handle negative situations. When things go wrong, what do you like? Yeah, when there's problems, what do you like? And if you just keep those two in mind, it's very important to keep this in mind because a lot of people think they talk to me and they think leadership's about planning, and planning is very important in strategy, and that's all great. But when things go wrong or when they're emotionally upset, that's when real leadership kicks in. Okay. So just keep that in mind, that ability to consider how you give off a vibe, whether that's good, whether that's bad. And secondly, how you respond to things going wrong. So now let's go into a little bit about why it's so good to be a calm leader. Well, if you think about it in terms of science, in terms of your brain, your prefrontal cortex, this bit at the front, or your executive function, where all your good ideas come from and all the best decisions that you make, when you are stressed, when you are panicked, when you are overwhelmed, when you're angry, when you're fearful, pretty much that kind of switches off and it goes into amygdala mode. It goes into this kind of like, right, what are we going to do? And if you think of it in terms of access to resources, you've suddenly massively narrowed your ability to focus. You're thinking just about one thing, or you're thinking about this one thing, and you've lost the peripheral vision. It's like when I used to do jiu-jitsu, the punch you don't see is the punch that comes from the side, and that's one that hits you in the face. Whereas if you're just aware laterally, then you can see it coming. So that's a really important thing to think of. If you're calm mentally, you've got access to anything. That's one of the best ways I like to be is like not think about anything, sort of open to everything. And if you're emotionally upset, you're not going to get access to those things. So what can you actually do about it? So I would suggest, I've been working on this for about 20 years. You try and cultivate a sense of calmness, and you might think, how do I actually do that? Consistency, discipline, frequency, anything you can do to set up routines and a sense of normalness, a sense of boring monotony, right? It's not sexy. All of those kinds of things. What that actually does, it gives you a grounded center. Because if you think about it in terms of mentally as a leader, every single day you're doing mental gymnastics. When you're thinking about one of your members of staff might have cancer, and then you think about budgets, and then you think about customers, then you think about economic things, you think about governance, you think about compliance, and you jump in all the time. And that's what it is, right? You've got to do that. And there's a massive amount of uncertainty. But you have to balance that out with certainty. Yeah. So you can think, right, I will do my best during this day, but I can control how much sleep I get, or I can control going to the gym regular times, or I can control the food that I eat, I can control, etc., etc. So again, some suggestions for you. Micro moments of calmness just before you go into a meeting. Okay, right. And bring nice and calm, good vibes. There we go. Right. 10 seconds before you log on to the Teams call, 10 seconds before you go into the room can make all the difference. Do it just as you arrive somewhere or just as you're leaving somewhere. You arrive home, you're busy, stressed, all those kind of thoughts going on, and you come home, you don't want to give off that vibe to your children and to your partner. Before you come in the door, you take those micro moments, right? They're really good. Second thing you can do is meditation. I've been meditating now for about 15 years. It is the number one thing I would recommend, and millions of other people do, because it's that ability to sit and to be calm with whatever's going on. Because one of the best things it can help you in leadership is not to give you momentary respite from uncertain times. It's actually kind of storing up that ability to be calm under emotional uncertainty. And once you can do that regularly with yourself, you actually can do that with other people. I did it yesterday. I was talking to somebody and they were, like this, and I was just emotionally calm. And they picked up on that, which is back to the thing I said about the start about the emotional vibe you give off, okay? And your ability to think of ways forward because you're nice and calm, you've got access to everything, right? So the main thing from this is cultivating that kind of boring routine, discipline, that sense of frequency. Yeah. And the final thing I would suggest with this is the reason I'm making this video for you is I've had people say to me many times, what do you do in uncertain times? And the answer is always the same. Straight away, the first time somebody asked me, I said, you be certain. They're like, what do you mean by that? And they said, well, you can't say what's going to happen in the economy. You can't say what's going to happen with this tomorrow. No, we can't. But you can be certain how you're going to be, how you're going to show up If people know they can rely on you, yeah, and you're regular, dependable, calm, focused, right, let's do it, guys. What are we going to do about this today? That's very, very attractive to people. It's highly desirable and it's highly useful. Think about it. If you had a problem, would you want to go to a boss who's angry? Would you want to go to a boss who made you feel scared? No, so don't do it to people. Yeah. And then again, some people honestly say to me, oh, they got to do as I say anyway. Maybe. But are you really getting their buy-in? Are you really getting the full loyalty, the real productivity? Are you getting the most out of them? Are you putting the most in? Yeah. We don't want to upset people. Yeah. It's not easy, this, by the way. So, recommended action points. I've been working on this for years. I'm still working on it. Check out the book, Emotional Intelligence by Daniel Goleman. It's fantastic. It'll really help you with learning ways to regulate your emotions. This key aspect of that. I'll also include a link with this video to a guided meditation that I created to help yourself calm down. And if you want a personalized plan, you can always try working with myself one-to-one or with one of my group or online sessions because I teach this stuff regularly. So, final thought for you. In uncertain times, why do certain leaders lead and win in uncertain times? Because when all's going on and people don't know who to depend on, they can depend on you. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Please give it a like and a follow if you're new to Catalyst. Take care and see you soon.